class we discussed about linear block codes. So where we in today's session we will be discussing about binary cyclic codes. It is also a subclass of your linear block codes. Okay. And in the linear block codes we discussed about how we are going to generate a generator polynomial, then parity matrix, parity check matrix, then we design encoding circuit, decoding circuit, and in order to correct and detect the error we used the syndrome calculation circuit. So those were the topics what we discussed in the previous linear block codes. And in today's session we will be discussing about binary cyclic codes. So what are the advantages of using this binary cyclic codes when we compare with respect to your linear block codes? So where we have two important advantages here. So the first advantage is the encoding circuit as well as the decoding circuit. The encoding the decoding circuit as well as the syndrome circuit. The encoding, decoding circuit as well as the syndrome circuit design is simple, okay, as compared to your linear block code. So how we are going to design and what makes the design simpler is, so in the case of your cyclic codes, so we are going to use, we will be using shift registers, okay, shift registers and gates, okay, and gates for your cyclic codes. So this makes the design simpler in the case of your cyclic codes when we compare with respect to your LBC. Okay. So where in the previous case, that is in the case of your LBC, the design of your encoding, decoding as well as syndrome. So the design circuitry what we are going to use, so it is very complex. So instead of that we can design our circuit in a simpler manner by just using your shift registers. Okay. So just the shift registers and some AND gates and adders, it is going to make our design simpler with respect to your cyclic code. So this is the first advantage what we have. And the second advantage what we have is the cyclic codes. Cyclic codes has simple mathematical structure. Mathematical structure in the sense, so we are going to represent the cyclic codes in the polynomial form, so which makes the error correcting and detection easy. Okay. So this is the one more advantage what we have. So since we are going to represent your cyclic codes in a polynomial form or using some mathematical structure, so the error correction and detection will be simpler in the case of your cyclic codes. So these are the two advantages what we have. So now next let us see what is the definition of this cyclic code. So as in the case of your LBC, so a n comma k n comma k LBC linear block code is called a cyclic code if every cyclic shift of a bit represents a code word which is present in the code vectors. That means, so we have considered some n, k linear block code. So with this n, k structure is called as a cyclic code when every cyclic shift of a bit, so it is going to represent a code word which is present in the code vectors. In the sense, so we have n, k here. So among your 2 to the power of k code vectors what we have found, so among them, so if you are going to shift each code word, then the cyclic shift of a code word will be a new code word which is present with respect to your code vectors. So that is what I am going to say here. So if suppose if C1 is equal to 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0 and C2 is equal to 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, then suppose if you are going to shift this C1, so if you shift C1, so it will be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1 and here this one, so it will be 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. So the two new code words which is formed here after you perform a 1-bit cyclic shift. So this new code word is also a code word which is present with respect to your corresponding code vector. That is the meaning here. Okay. So let us look how we are going to represent in general this cyclic codes. So now in general, so how we are going to represent this cyclic codes? So in general, so we are going to consider it as n tuple. So that means n represents the code word length. So let the n tuple be represented by, so v is represented here as your code vector. So v is equal to v naught up to vn minus 1. Let us represent this equation as 1. So now we are going to perform the cyclic shift of the equation 1. So if we perform 1-bit cyclic shift, then the new code, the new n tuple which we get is, so v of 1, that means the first 1-bit cyclic shift, v of 1 it will be equal to vn minus 1, v naught, that means we are performing 1-bit cyclic shift. So the next bit will be vn minus 2. So similarly if we consider for the next bit, so it will be v of 2 is equal to vn minus 2, vn minus 1, v naught, v1 up to vn minus 3. So it continues up to where? So up to I bit. So v of I is equal to vn minus I into vn minus I plus 1 up to vn minus I minus 1. So now, so this equation 1, as I already told that, so this cyclic code can also be represented in a mathematical structure. So where we are going to represent it as a polynomial structure here. So this equation 1 is represented in the polynomial form like this, that is v of x is equal to, so v naught, v1 of x, that means it is v naught into x to the power of 0 means it will be 1, so it will be v naught plus v1 into x plus v1 into x square. So up to where? Up to x to the power of n minus 1. So let us represent this as your equation 2. So now if we further continue, so if we consider this equation, then v1 of x will be vn minus 1 plus v naught into x plus v1 into x square. So this continues up to where? So vn minus 2 into x to the power of n minus 1. So next we have v of 2 of x is equal to vn minus 2 plus vn minus 1 into x plus v naught into x plus v1 into x square. So up to vn minus 3 into x power n minus 1. So this continues up to where? So it is in general vi is equal to vn minus I into vn minus I plus 1 plus V0 into x plus V1 into x square. So this continues up to Vn minus I minus 1 into x power n minus 1. So this is the equation what we have. It is the general equation what we have with respect to your cyclic code. So now let us see some examples how we are going to perform the operation of product as well as the division with respect to your cyclic code. So this is an example here. So find the product of the polynomials. So they are given two functions f1 of x and f2 of x. We need to find the product of this. So the operation what we are going to perform, that is the addition, multiplication as well as the division, is the modulo 2 operation what we are going to perform. So modulo 2 addition is nothing but the XOR operation what we are going to perform. So if you perform the product of f1 of x into f2 of x, so this is x plus 1 into x to the power of 3 plus x plus 1. So this will be, so instead of this what I can write here is 1 plus x to the power of 3. So it will be x plus 1 plus x square so it is 1 into x plus 1 is x plus 1 plus x square plus x to the power of 4 plus x to the power of 3. So now we have x and x common here, so where it represents 1, so that means 1 XOR with 1 is, so this gets 0, so we are left with 1 plus x square plus x to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 4. So this is how we are going to find the product of two polynomials. So we have one more example here, so where here we are going to divide the polynomials, two polynomials. So divide f2 of x by f1 of x. So this x to the power of 3 plus x plus 1, x power 6 plus x power 5 plus x to the power of 2. So this will be x power 3. So x power 3 means it will be x power 6 plus x4 plus x to the power of 3. So since we have x power 6 plus x power 6 is 0, so we are left with x power 5, x power 4, x power 3 and x square. So plus x square, so it will be x power 5 plus x power 3 plus x square. Once again we have the same terms, x to the power of 5. So this and this as well as this and this. So we are left with only x to the power of 4. So this is plus x. So it will be x to the power of 4 plus x square plus x. So these two gets cancelled. So we are left with x square plus x. So this is considered as your R of x remainder polynomial, and this is your Q of x, that is your quotient polynomial. This is your remainder. Okay. So this is how we are going to perform the division as well as the multiplication. So with respect to your cyclic codes, that is using your modulo 2 algebra. Okay. So next we have the properties of cyclic codes. So where we have 5 important properties of cyclic codes. So where we are going to use all these 5 properties in construction of your generator polynomial as well as in the construction of your parity check matrix. So now let us go for the first property. So what is the first property says is, so where in order to find the code vector, what are the requirements we should have is, we should have a generator polynomial as well as a message vector. So now how we are going to construct this generator polynomial? So for a n comma k cyclic code, so we have a generator polynomial, and that generator polynomial degree is n minus k. Okay. So where n represents the length of the code word and k represents your So your g of x is given by g of x is equal to g naught plus g1 of x. Since we are representing everything in terms of its polynomial, so it is g naught plus g1 of x plus g1 of x square. So up to where? Up to the degree n minus k, x power n minus k. So this is the first property. And the second property is, so if you have a generated polynomial of degree n minus k and it should consist of a factor x to the power of n plus 1. So why we are require this x power n plus 1 here is, so we need to find what we call as h of x. What is h of x in your linear block code? You all know that h of x is nothing but it is the parity check matrix, or here we call it as the parity check polynomial. So how we are going to find out h of x? So this is by using the factor x power n plus 1 is equal to g of x into h of x. Okay. So if you know g of x and the n value, you can calculate what is your h of x from this particular equation, which also the second property of your cyclic code. Then we have the third property, that is, if g of x is a polynomial of degree n minus k and if it consists of x power n plus 1 factor, then it is going to generate a n comma k cyclic code. So this is the third property. Then the fourth one what we have is how we are going to find the code vector. So it is nothing but v of x is equal to d of x into g of x. So what is d here? So d is nothing but your message vector. So what is message vector given by d of x is d naught plus d1 into x up to where it is k minus 1 x to the power of k minus 1. So by using your d of x, you can calculate your code vector v of x. So now in the case of your linear block codes, I said that we have two types of codes. One is the systematic code and non-systematic code. So how we are going to separate or how we are going to differentiate the systematic and non-systematic codes is that in the case of systematic, if your message vector repeats or if the message vector starts at the beginning of your code vector or at the end of the code vector, then we say that it is a systematic code. If the code vector is not present at the starting as well as the end, then we say them as the non-systematic code. So here also we are going to use systematic as well as non-systematic. So if your cyclic code is a non-systematic one, then you can find the code vector by using this equation. So but if the code or if your n comma k is a systematic code, then how you are going to find the r of x value here is by using this equation, that is r of x, the remainder is obtained, or the code vector how you are going to find is, so you are going to divide x to the power of n minus k into d of x by g of x, where you are going to generate your remainder r of x, and then finally the code vector how we are going to find this. So first you are going to place the remainder polynomial and then your message vector, or you can place first your message vector and then the remainder polynomial, so that gives your code vector in the case of your systematic cyclic code. It is r of x is equal to x power n minus k into d of x divided by g of x. So now let us look into an example where I will show how we are going to find the systematic cyclic code and how we are going to find the code vector for a non-systematic cyclic code. So let us solve a simple example with respect to your systematic and non-systematic. So we need to find all the message vectors both in systematic and non-systematic, where I will show how to find both non-systematic and systematic for two message vectors. Rest you all need to find. So where I have written the answer for every code word what you are going to get after you perform the operation with respect to non-systematic. So this is the table with respect to non-systematic. So for non-systematic, so how we are going to find the code vector is by using the formula v of x is equal to d of x into g of x. So what is your d of x given by? So it is d naught, your d of x is d naught plus d1 into x square plus d2 into x to the power of 3 plus d3 into x to the power of 4.
This is x square and x to the power of 3. So this is x square as well as x power 3. So then this is 1 plus x square plus x to the power of 3. So this is how we are going to write the polynomial structure. So from this standard form, so then similarly g of x is given by 1 plus x to the power of 3. So d of x into g of x. So what is the first message d of x we are going to consider? So we are going to consider this one. So it is all 0, so the code vector is 0, 0. So let us consider for 0, 1, 0, 1. So we have d of x as 0, 1, 0, 1. That means, so this is x to the power of 0 is 0. Then we have, so this is x plus, this is x square. So we have x plus x to the power of 3. So x plus x to the power of 3 multiplied by your g of x is 1 plus x to the power of 3. So multiply this. So you will be getting x plus x square plus x to the power of 4 plus x to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 4 plus x to the power of 6. So then we are going to, so since we have these two terms same, so it gets, so that is nothing but it is 1 plus 1. So 1 XORed with 1 is 0. So we are left with x plus x square plus x to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 6. That means, so x to the power of 0 is not there, so it is 0. So we have x to the power of 1, so it is 1 x square, x3 is there, x4 is 0, x5 is 0, x6 is 1. So the length of the message bits is now 7 bits. So now let us check whether we have got the same answer for this one. So this is the answer what we have arrived for the message vector, that is 0, 1, 0, 1. So now let us find for one more message vector, that is 1, 1. So d of x is 4 ones. So it is 1 plus x square plus x to the power of 3. So v of x is equal to, so v of x is equal to 1 plus x square plus x to the power of 3 multiplied by g of x is what? G of x is 1 plus x to the power of 3. So this will be 1 plus x to the power of 3 plus x square plus x to the power of 4 plus x square plus x to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 5 plus x to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 4 plus x to the power of 6. So find the terms which are common, cancel them. So we have x to the power of 3 and x to the power of 3, 0. Then we have x and x square and x square. Then we have x to the power of 4 and x to the power of 4. So we are left with 1 plus x to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 6 plus x to the power of 5. That means 1 is there. So 1, x is not there, so it is 0. X square is also 0. x3, x4 is 0. x5 is here. So x5, then x6. So that means 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So this is what we have got. So this is how we are going to find the code vectors in the case of your non-systematic form. So now let us see the same problem for your systematic form. Here let us see an example for systematic form. Let us consider some message vector. So let us consider the same message vector, that is 0, 1, 0, 1. So that is d of x is 0, 1, 0, 1. That means it is x plus x to the power of 3. So r of x is equal to, so we have to find x power n minus k into d of x. So x power n minus k means what? So x power n means it is 7. So 7 minus 4 means it is 3. So it is x to the power of 3 into d of x. So this is what we are going to get after multiplying x to the power of n minus k into d of x. So which is written as x to the power of 6 plus x to the power of 4. That means the highest polynomial should be written first. So this is x power 6 plus x power 4. So if you divide x power 3, so it is x to the power of 6 plus 6 to the power of 6 plus x to the power of 4 plus x to the power of 3. So these two gets cancelled, and also this, so you are left with x power 3. So it is plus 1. So it will be x power 3 plus x plus 1. So we are left with x plus 1. So this is your q of x and this is your r of x. So this is how we are going to find the r of x. So r of x is what? So x power 0 is not there, so it is present, so it is 1, so it is 1. X is there, so it is 1. So we have one more bit we should get, so it is 0. That means, so what is your message bit? So your message bit is 0101. Let us check whether we have got the answer for this. So this is what we have found. So first 3 bits, so this is your r of x bit and this is your d of x bit. So your message vector should consist of remainder coefficients as well as your message coefficients d of x. Okay. So this is how you are going to find the message vector with respect to your systematic code. So let us solve one more message vector. So let us consider the last message vector, that is 111. So your d of x here is considered as 4 ones. So it is 1 plus x square plus x to the power of 3. So it is x power n minus k is x power 3 multiplied by 1 plus x square plus x to the power of 3. So you will be getting x power 3, 4, 5 and 6. So divide by g of x. So the highest coefficient is x power 6, 5, 4, 3. So divide it by x power 3 plus x plus 1. So it is x to the power of 3. So it will be x power 6 plus x4 plus x3. So idu eradu will get cancelled. So this gets cancelled. So you are left with x power 5. So plus x square. So it is x to the power of 5 plus x3 plus x square. So we are left with x power 3 plus x square. So plus 1. So it will be x power 3 plus x plus 1. So these two gets cancelled. So it is x square plus x plus 1. That means it will be 1 x and x square, 111. Then the message vector is 4 ones. So this is what we have got with respect to your non-systematic form. Okay, now here if your generator polynomial is not given and if only your n comma k is given, so then how we are going to find the generator and the parity check matrix, we'll see now. So here they have given n comma k. So n comma k is 7 comma 4 here. So where the generator polynomial, so g of x, it consists of a degree n minus k. So from that if we consider n minus k means 7 minus 4 means 3, which means to say that your g of x is x plus 1 plus this is g naught plus g1 into x plus g2 into x square plus g3 into x to the power of 3. That means, so it is 0, 1, 2, 3 is what we are going to consider here. So let us consider that our g of x is 1 plus x to the power of 3. So as we had considered in the previous example, g of x is 1 plus x to the power of 3. Okay. So since we have the degree n minus k which is equal to 3, so now we know that, so first g naught of x is this one. So next we have g1 into x, that means, so we need to multiply. So this is your g naught of x. So it is g1 into x. g1 into x means, so it has to be multiplied by x. So you will be getting x plus x square plus x to the power of 4. Then we have g2 into x square. g2 into x square means, so it is x square into your 1 plus x to the power of 3. So this will be x square plus x to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 5. Then we have g3 into x to the power of 3, which is x to the power of 3 into 1 plus x to the power of 3. So which is equal to x power 3 plus x to the power of 4 plus x to the power of 6. x3 is 0, x4, x5, x6, then 0, x square, x3, x4, x5, x6, 0, 0, x square, x3, x4, x5 and x6. So now, so if we consider ik, so that means ik means it is, what is k here? K is 4. So ik means, so it should be I4. That means your identity matrix should be of the order 4 cross 4. So now this G what we have found out just now, it is not in the form, in the standard form. So now we need to perform some row addition, row operation such that it should be in the standard form. That means your identity matrix should be, so the first row is already, it is in the first row, and second row it is already in the form of identity matrix, that is 1 0 0 0, then 0 1 0 0. So this third row it should be 0 0 1 0, and the fourth row should be 0 0 0 1. So perform the row addition operation with respect to third row. We need to perform the row operation, and also with respect to the fourth row. So after you perform the row operation, that is if you perform R1 plus R3 and place the result in R3, so this row 3 gets changed to this one, and similarly R1, R2 plus R4 and place the result in the R4, so you are going to get the last R3 as this one, so which is in the standard form. So this is P and I4. So this is how we are going to generate the generator polynomial. Later on you can find the code vector using the equation V is equal to D into G. So where we have the property 2 of your cyclic code, so where your generator polynomial has a factor, that is x power n plus 1, which is given by g of x into h of x. So x power n plus 1 is equal to g of x into h of x. So g of x we have considered the same, that is 1 plus x to the power of 3 into your h of x. So how we are going to find your h of x? H of x is equal to x power n plus 1 divided by g of x. So this is your g of x, we are dividing that by your x power n plus 1, where n is equal to 7. So it is x power 7 plus 1. So it is x to the power of 4. So x power 7 plus 5 plus 4. So this will be x power 5, 4 plus 1. So it is x square, x5, x3 plus x square. So it is x power 4, x power 3, x square plus 1. So it is x. So x power 4 plus x power 4 plus x square plus x. So we have x power 3 plus x plus 1. So it is plus 1. So it will be x power 3 plus x plus 1. So it is completely 0. So that means, so until you get the remainder as 0, perform the division. So then consider your q of x, whatever we are going to get. So your h of x will be the last q of x, that is 1 plus x square plus x to the power of 4. So now take the reciprocal of your h of x. So it will be 1 plus 1 by x plus 1 by x square plus 1 by x to the power of 4. So now we have with respect to your generator polynomial, we have with respect to x to the power of 3. So the next highest factor is x power 4. So that's why multiply your reciprocal of your h of x by x4, x5 and x6, since the length of your code word should be 7 bits. So if suppose if it is 6 bits, then you stop up to x to the power of 5. So your x to the power of 4 into h inverse of x means it will be x power 4 plus x to the power of 3 plus x square plus 1. Then if you consider this one, so it will be x power 5 plus x to the power of 4 plus x3 plus x. Then this one it will be x power 6, 5, 4 and 2. So now considering this, what I can write? So it is 1 plus x square plus x to the power of 3 plus x4, which is 1, 0, 1, 1. So x4 is 1. So we have 5 bits. So the bits which are not present are represented by zeros. So similarly here, that is x plus x3, x4, x5, 0, 1, x square is 0, x3, x4, x5, x6. Then if we consider this one, so it is x square plus x4, x5 and x6. So this will be 0, x square, x3, x4, x5 and x6. So your H matrix will be 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. So this will be 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. So now your order of the H matrix, it should be n minus k into n. N minus k means what? It is 7 minus 4. So it should be 3 cross n is 7. So that means 3 rows and 7 columns. Okay. So we have 3 rows and 7 columns. So this also should be in the order. So that means, so this I of so this is n minus k means this is your identity matrix, that is I of n minus k, and this is your P transpose matrix. So in order to represent it in the standard form, so we need to perform. So by looking at this, so we have only the third row which is in the standard form of your identity, the first, that means 0, 1, 0 and 0, 0, 1, they are in the standard form. So only the row 1 has to get changed, that is 1, 0, 1 has to get changed to 0, 0, 1, sorry 1, 0, 0. So that's why we have performed the row operation, that is we are adding first and the third row. So first and third row are added and the result is placed in the first row where you are going to get the standard form. So this is your I3 and this is your P transpose. So that is what we have arrived with respect to your parity check matrix. So this is the procedure how you are going to find the generator polynomial as well as the parity check matrix if only your n comma k as well as your g of x is given, that is generator polynomial is given. From the generator polynomial you are going to calculate your generator matrix and the parity check matrix. Thank you.